turned it off, and that's your protocol.
She's a f***ing lawyer, so she knows.
Uh-oh, she threw out the I'm an AG.
I'm an AG. I'm an AG.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Ryan Tillman Show. And boy, do we got a phenomenal show today. But before we get into it, do me a favor. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. And make sure y'all turn on that notification bell so that way you know anytime I bring you a new video. But today what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through 4 different current events, trending topics, and even some police breakdowns. For those of y'all that love my police breakdowns, I'm going to give you guys some today. We're going to talk about how Trump is mobilizing the National Guard across the country now. What started in Cali. You know, we're trendsetters. Okay, we're really not trendsetters, only for bad stuff. But what started in Cali, then led to DC, and now it's leading to all across the country. We're going to talk about that. We are going to show you a video where I think she is an attorney. Yes, she's some sort of prosecutor attorney. I believe is in Rhode Island, who she gets contacted by police. She's belligerent, and then her butt goes to jail. What's that video? Let's put this video up right there. Straight to jail. Yeah, put that up right there for me if you don't mind, Eric. All right, so we're going to talk about her. We're going to show you a phenomenal video by this police sergeant who actually takes a round and keeps in the fight, which is phenomenal if you ask me. I mean, anytime I see videos or an opportunity to highlight great work that police do, we're going to do it. So we're going to do that today. Let's just jump right into it because you guys are waiting so much. I want to start with the police sergeant who is working on patrol. He's responding to a call for service. He gets into it looks like a vehicle pursuit. He contacts his suspect, and this is what happens next. Let's watch.
Here's 2337.
Put your hands in the air!
All right, before I show you guys what actually happens, let me kind of give you mindset real quick of what it's like when you're doing something like this. So I've been in plenty of vehicle pursuits throughout my career, and man, let me tell you, your heart is going through your chest. But it's so important to stay calm because you don't want to be so, have so much adrenaline going on that you get tunnel vision, everything gets black, and now you can't focus right. Now you can't see what's going on around you. So that's when it's important for you just to be, gotta breathe. And I'm going to assume that that's what this sergeant was doing based on his level of response. Let's watch.
Fuck, you got me, god damn it!
King 04, I am shot, but I'm up. Shots fired, roll your head.
I mean, first and foremost, that sergeant is a boss. I don't know where this is at. Let me see. This was in Houston, Texas. Man, y'all Texans is something else. But this sergeant is straight up boss. He takes a round to his leg. There's so many people that would have got shot and it would have been all over. Oh, I'm out, man. Hey, take my gun. Tell my family I love them. Give them a kiss. Here's a note. And write a note. So many people. That's what would have happened. They would have took that round. I can't remember what movie it was when I think it was Martin Lawrence, National Security. But anyways, he takes a shot and he doesn't really get shot. It's like a potato chip that kind of gets him in the arm and he acts like the world is over. There's so many people that's how they would respond. But he doesn't. He stays in a fight. He keeps a cool, level head. And, this situation ain't over yet. He ain't over yet. It's still going. Everything is chaos. Boop, 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 boop. All across her face. Let's watch.
Okay. Clear. Alright, put the tourniquet on me. That's fair. You just get to 13 and 04 now. Get behind the car, Yeah, we need an ambulance. We got to flush her down.
I'm bleeding like something.
That's clear.
Turn it to the
suspect.
Put your hands in the air! Oh! Fuck!
I need you to go high now. Tie that thing up. Tie it up. Man, this sergeant is a boss, man. Hey, Sarge, if you see this video, man, just thank you so much for your service. And thank you so much for being the boss that you are, showing us young bucks how it gets done. But the thing I love about it is that he didn't panic. He didn't panic. As soon as he got shot, they stopped the threat. The guy goes down, and then he grabs out his tourniquet, and he go ahead and he puts on that tourniquet and has his partner help him. This is also why, if you're an officer watching this is why you pay attention in training. I know it's hard sometimes. Look, I go to quarterly training, and actually quarterly training could be pretty fun, but sometimes there's topics that aren't, the most sexiest topics that you deal with. Some of them might be related to first aid and applying tourniquets, but this is why it's so important to pay attention and actually do the drill right as opposed to messing around, which I probably messed around in the past, especially as a younger officer. But you never know when there's a situation like this that occurs, and you got to be ready. You absolutely have to be ready, not only to help yourself out, but help your partners out in the event that they go down. But kudos to him, man. This dude is a straight boss. Like, we watch movies all the time. I watch some really good movies. I was traveling recently. I watched some really good action movies the other day. But there's nothing better than an action movie. There's nothing that beats an action movie more than what happens in real life, and you see people act like some straight up bosses like this sergeant did. So kudos to you, Sarge. If you watch this, I appreciate you, man. Keep doing the great work you're doing. That suspect ended up being unalived after that, but needless to say, the threat was stopped. All right, moving on. I want to talk about, since we're on the subject of police, why not just talk about the National Guard and the National Guard moving all the way across the country? I'm going to be a couple videos. A lot of people are really spun up right now. Like I said earlier in the intro, National Guard was deployed in California when we had the recent ICE protests. Then President Trump activated the National Guard in D.C. and said, hey, I'm tired of the nonsense. I'm tired of the crime. We're going to crack down. And then now it's spreading across the country. Now, there's a lot of people that don't really like this. Some people are saying it's racist because he's going after only the cities that have black mayors, which I wouldn't necessarily say that's true. Because it's not only those cities. What he's doing is he's going after the cities that have the most violence. And again, this is not me being, one way or the other. This is me being the middle of the line, try to be as unbiased as I can. He's going out to the cities that have the most violence. Let's watch this news clip really quick and see kind of what they're saying in the news as it relates to him activating the National Guard across our country. Let's watch.
Feuds with Democratic-run cities and states over crime and threats of military deployments. Today, Trump suggested he may pull federal funding for the reconstruction of the collapsed Francis Scott Key Bridge over in Baltimore. In a series of Truth Social posts, the president attacked Maryland Governor Wes Moore's record of crime and tied bridge funding to a political dispute on deploying the National Guard to cities across the country. All of this comes as CNN has learned the Trump administration has been planning for weeks to send National Guard troops to Chicago, America's third largest city. It's believed the deployment would look different from what we've seen over in Washington, D.C., where the president has more leeway in directing troops. The Chicago deployment could more resemble what the president did in Los Angeles in response to immigration protests there this summer. But this time, troops are expected to have a broader focus of combating crime and unprecedented use of the National Guard.
So I have a few thoughts on this. First and foremost, I kind of equate it to when a house, let's say two parents get separated, right? You got two parents that get separated, and when the kids, they're older, let's just say the kids are 16, 15, they're early teens. At one parent's house, they're able to do whatever they want to do. At the other parent's house, they can't do what they want to do. The crackdown comes. And I feel like, politically speaking, we've had a shift. And the shift that we've had is that the last 4 years prior to this year, people were able to do whatever they wanted to do with very, very minimal repercussion. And so now the custody is over. Our time period has been served. And now we have to go to the strict parent's house. And while we're at the strict parent's house, all the stuff that I was able to get away with at the other parent's house is being shut down. That's kind of what I feel like was going on right now as it relates to the National Guard being deployed. And again, this is coming from somebody who tries to be level-headed, but be in the middle and try to see both sides of the equation. Let me just play devil's advocate. If I'm looking at things from the left side of the spectrum, yeah, I can see why people are getting upset because the National Guard should not have to be deployed into these cities in order to combat crime. It really shouldn't come down to that. And really, that's not what the National Guard is there for. The National Guard is there for emergencies and other types of chaos. So I understand the pushback. However, let's look at where the National Guard is actually talking about or where they've discussed deploying them. Chicago, New York City, Baltimore, San Francisco, and Oakland. There's 19 other states that have actually had talks about National Guard being deployed. But of those cities I just mentioned, would you say that it's a wholesome city? Would you say that crime is down and crime is okay? No. We would be lying to ourselves if we said that everything is kosher in those places. It's not. It's really not. You don't believe me? Watch what this resident had to say in I don't know, I think this is in Chicago, but watch what this guy says because I think it's kind of funny. You know, the news has one way they view it, and then you talk to certain people on the ground, they have another view. Let's watch.
The National Guard has to come here, even if it's for a scare tactic. They have to come here. There's no control. There's no law and order.
So you have some people that live there that say, hey, the National Guard, they got to come, even if it's for a scare tactic. What are your thoughts on that? Let's just say that is what they're trying to do, and they are trying to deploy the National Guard as a scare tactic. Do you think it's right? Well, you know, I listened to the mayor of Chicago talk earlier, and he was saying that this is what we don't need. What we need is more resources to combat crime and to keep our streets safe. This is the thing that we don't need. My pushback to that would be like, okay, well, you've had the last 4 years when, let's just bring up the presidents for that sake of now, because that's what the whole topic of discussion is. When President Biden was in office and they were giving you all the money and they were giving you all the resources, were we actually seeing a change? And I looked at the statistics. We weren't really seeing a change. Now you're going to have people that argue and say, hey, look, you know, well, the stats are down, crime is down, violent. Like, no, it's all subjective. Numbers are very subjective nowadays because depending on who you look at, they can skew them. That's why it's important to actually talk to people living on the streets. But even if you talk to people living on the streets, you're still going to get a different phrase. You're still going to get different opinions because everybody lives in different realities. Like, for example, let's say I lived in a really, really bad city, but life was good for me. I had to, like I say, I'm married, got my 3 kids, everything goes well. I've never been a victim of crime. My perception of that city is going to be different from the person that has been a victim of crime, does not have life the same way. So you always have to look at, you know, information subjectively, and you got to look at the sources and try to find multiple sources with multiple different ideas in just the same echo chamber. So that way you can form a legitimate opinion. And if you ask me, I think I will put this out there. I think that we have been way too lax on crime, not only in California, but from a national scale. So let's just say, even if the National Guard was put in place as a scare tactic, I said this in a prior video, I don't see the issue with allowing people to say, look, I don't want to break no laws or violate no crimes because I'm not trying to go to jail and I'm not trying to deal with the National Guard. There's nothing wrong with that. The only ones that should be worried about any of this, are people that break the law. How difficult is that to understand? It's not that difficult to understand. When it comes to violence and when it comes to crime, I'm all about doing whatever we can to send a clear message that you will not be violating any more crime. Not up in here. All right, on to the next one. I think this was a good topic to talk about. The next video is kind of funny. So as much as I love to uplift people that have some type of rank, like people that do public safety, you know, it could be a police officer, it could be a firefighter, but it could also be an attorney general. And as much as I like to give credit where credit is due, I also stand truly by making sure that we hold those in authority and those with power accountable. And when people mess up, we got to be held accountable for it, no matter who you are. And in this video, some of you guys have probably already seen it. There is this attorney general. Sounds like she was out for a night on the town. They can have fun too. They're people too. They can go get, get a little tipsy, do their little thing, whatever they want to do. But you better make sure if the police get called, you better act right. Let's see what I'm talking about.
It's in Rhode Island. And this gets really interesting.
I want you to turn your Bodycam off. Protocol is that you turn it off if a citizen requests you to turn it off.
So they want you guys to leave.
The initial interaction with the police officers isn't very good. It's pretty much a bunch of drunk people talking to the cops. And she tries to assert her authority and tell them what their protocol is.
I want you to turn your Bodycam off. Protocol is that you turn it off if a citizen requests you to turn it off. Yes, we're gonna leave.
Let's just leave. Let's just make it easy, okay?
We're gonna make it easy. No,
That's not.
So first and foremost, I love how she's trying to tell the officers what they need to do. If you didn't pick up on this, if you never hang out with intoxicated or inebriated people, I would say I would go out on a hunch and say that she's inebriated. She is intoxicated very heavily. What gives it away? Well, maybe it's the slurred speech. But needless to say, she's trying to tell the officer what to do. Now, anytime you start any interaction with a police officer by telling them what to do, I can guarantee you that most likely is not going to go in your favor. Let's continue to watch some of this interaction.
That's not.
She steps in and she's going to say, we're going to make it easy for you and tell them what to do. And then her friend starts talking and it totally bums her out.
We're gonna make it easy.
That's not.
I think this is because she's used to being in charge and she's probably acted all tough and in charge all night. And now when her friend starts talking and is usurping her authority, she doesn't know what to do.
I don't know. That's not the point. Can you look at me?
Yeah, we'll talk over here, okay?
Your protocol is.
Can we all talk? Can we all talk?
Talk over here. They want you to leave.
Your protocol is.
Can we talk?
So the cops pretty much say, let's go over here and we'll talk about this. And the assistant AG starts telling them. She starts trying to take control and tell them what to do and tell them what their protocol is again.
Your protocol is.
Can we talk?
So I got to give the officers credit first and foremost. They're being patient. They are being patient. But they continue to press these officers' buttons. So we're not going to watch the full entirety of the beginning of this interaction because it continues to escalate. So what I want to do is I want to fast forward and show you how it starts to get escalated. And then I want to know from you what should be the actual standard that public officials should be held to. I want to know for you, but let's watch real quick. And again, if you guys are still with me, thank you guys for sticking around. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Back to the video.
Is if we ask you to turn your body.
I don't want to deal with this.
The AG is so used to having her way and telling people what to do and having police officers around that are being quiet and doing their job. While she does her job, she doesn't know how to handle this. She's used to bossing them around. This tells you a lot about her personality type. It's totally disrespectful to police officers.
We're not trespassing. You haven't notified us that we're trespassing.
You're
Number one,
You're
number two.
educated you.
You're number one.
Now, I don't know what protocol she's talking about. And maybe I missed a memo at my police department where they told me that if somebody, the citizen tells me I got to turn on my body cam, that I got to turn it off. Maybe that this is some Rhode Island stuff. I don't think it is, though. She is, because think about that. So you're telling me that if anybody in the public told me that I had to turn my camera off, I would have to turn it off. You know how much like litigation would be, or like how many people would be mad at us because we turned our camera off because they said so. Like it doesn't work like that. So again, I don't know what protocol she's talking about. Maybe this is the the tequila protocol that she's talking about.
Have you counted the number of times she says protocol? I think it ends up to be around 7.
Protocol is your protocol.
She likes the word protocol because she keeps using that protocol word a lot. I mean, what is the definition of protocol? She's using all these big words. I don't know.
Even more as she gets a little bit more confident.
Turn it off, and that's your protocol.
She's a lawyer, so she knows.
No, so that's not true. So we got to go.
No, it is. That's the law.
I'm an
What's she
AG.
saying?
I'm an AG.
Good for you. I don't give a shit. Let's go. We're going. Let's go.
Excuse.
We're leaving. We're leaving.
Uh-oh, she threw out the I'm an AG. That's the worst. Like when as an officer, when people would tell me, hey, I'm off duty. It's like, okay, what does that mean? Like if I'm on official business, like that's why I usually try never to tell people that I'm off duty or anything like that, because like if it is unrelated to the reason why they're contacting me, then there's no reason to know it, unless it's like, hey, I'm off duty, I have a firearm, just want you to know. But don't try to use your capacity, your official capacity, to try to be a means of getting out of whatever situation you are, especially when you're going to be belligerent like this, because it's not going to end well. So at some point in time, she calls protocol. At some point in time, it's time to go to jail. And this is where things get a little exciting. Well, I'd say exciting because it's kind of funny to watch, but back to the video.
Please don't put your hands on us.
Can you get your children out of here? Like,
This police officer is being so calm, and he's doing such a great job trying to round these drunk women up and get them away from the bar. But they're not having it. They don't understand that they're not the ones in charge here, and they're actually going to be in trouble in a couple of minutes if they don't calm down.
I don't know why.
I'm sorry, what?
Let's go.
Let's go.
No.
Let's go. They're two full-grown women and mothers. So, great.
You just need the tank. You just need the tank.
I'm an AG.
So the officer's finally had enough, and he realizes there's not going to be any calming this down or settling them down, and he's going to have to arrest them. Have you been counting the number of times she says, I'm an AG?
I'm an AG.
You tell me in the comments how many times she says it, because it's a lot.
What do you probable cause to detain me for?
You're being detained because you're not leaving.
Can
you relax?
Look, just because you're an AEG doesn't make you immune from the law. I've seen police officers take other chiefs to jail. I've seen police officers take judges to jail. I've seen police officers take anybody to jail. Just because you hold a certain position or power of authority, it doesn't mean that you're immune from the law. And her husband should have just stayed back. Like, what? Okay, I guess the question is what should they have done? What could they have done to avoid this? You know what? If the husband, let's just say he's the more sober one, maybe he should have got in from the very beginning and said, hey, officer, I'm so sorry. There's a misunderstanding here. You know what? Things just got a little bit heated. My wife, so forth and so on. We're going to get out of here. Can we get out of here? And as calm as this officer is, I'm sure that they probably would have allowed them to kind of get out of there. But he just kept letting his wife talk. And then now all of a sudden his wife is going in handcuffs and now he's expecting them to let him off. No, it doesn't work that way.
You're putting me in handcuffs and you're Mirandizing. You're not Mirandizing me. Come on.
Relax.
This is the part where she should get in the car, be quiet, and not say another word.
Buddy, you're going to regret this.
Yeah.
He's gonna regret it.
That's a threat. You're going to regret this. She's the assistant attorney general. That's a big deal. She's breaking the law and expecting the officers to let her go because she's an assistant AG.
Well, two things I want to talk about at this point. Number one is she said that you need to Mirandize me. Just so you know, just so you're clear, you only need to be Mirandized when custody and interrogation are present. That means that once you are in physical custody, you can't go anywhere, and a lot of times that often equals to being placed in handcuffs or in somebody's police car. That's when you actually have custody. Interrogation means that, okay, now that you're in custody and I'm the police officer and I want to start asking you questions about whatever happened, then I need to Mirandize you. But if that officer has developed enough probable cause to place you under arrest and get in the back of the car and he doesn't need anything else, he doesn't need to Mirandize you. So for her to be the attorney general, the prosecuting attorney, whatever it may be, it's kind of scary, number one, because it's like, man, you don't realize and understand the own laws that you're supposed to be deliberating on. And number two, why are you throwing this weight out around that you're the attorney general? If it was me, the last thing I would want people to know is I'm the attorney general, because I don't want this getting out there and I lose my job, especially when you start making threats and saying you're going to regret this. You can't make a threat towards an officer just because you're the attorney general. That if you want to get fired, let me tell you, if you want to get fired, she should teach a class. This is how to get fired 101. Do these things, and this is how you're going to get fired. Oh my goodness.
I'm an agent.
I think that makes us all feel good when he slams the door in her face before she gets the G out.
So she goes to jail. Now her friend goes to jail, and let's see how her friend is acting. Let's see if her friend is acting any better.
I'm with you.
Relax.
We don't want to put you in handcuffs. Let's go. Let's go.
No. Stay.
Listen, you're overreacting.
You're adding charges.
You're overreacting.
No.
She still has a chance to make this almost okay, or at least lessen the charges that they could bring against her up to this point. All she has to do is get in the car and not say a word.
take my hands up. Please take your hands up. No, please
You
take
overreact. You didn't have this. You didn't have to have this happen. Get in the car.
No,
Get in the
no,
car.
no! Babe, no!
You got 2 to 10.
Right here.
Get in the
No!
car. Just put her in.
No!
Right here. Get back, bro.
She's turning into a hillbilly.
Get in the car.
Get your feet in the car.
Well, it looks like this is turning into another case of somebody resisting lawful arrest of officers.
I don't know if you watch Cops or used to watch Cops. This is exactly what happens on Cops all the time. When you arrest rednecks and hillbillies, this starts.
Get in the car.
Get your feet in the car.
And I can say hillbilly because my roots are hillbillies. They really are.
Oh man, that's pretty funny. This is probably not one of their proudest moments. I can guarantee that.
Get your feet in the car.
It almost sounded like no, and then as that door starts shutting, it like starts getting more faint. No, door shuts. I mean, that's kind of funny.
The car.
Get your feet in the fucking car. Wait, I'm
Oh,
right here.
door's still open. Feet out the car.
No!
Get your feet in the car.
Don't
Get your
touch
feet
me.
in the car. You're a grown adult. You're acting like a kid.
Babe,
All right, I've had enough. Oh my goodness. I used to hate dealing with inebriated people, intoxicated people like this because you dealt with this. And it's like, oh my goodness, like we could have been out of here by now. Matter of fact, they could have went home. I truly believe if they would have cooperated with law enforcement the moment they got there, or one of those men, you heard me, if one of those men would have stepped up and said, hey, look, we got this. We're going to take them out of here. We'll get them home safely. We would never even be watching this video. There's going to be people that say, oh, well, that's jacked up, Ryan. Like, you know, how are you going to just make light or make fun of, you know, this situation? This was not one of the most proudest moments. No, it wasn't one of the most proudest moments. But when you do stuff like this, especially when you are a person of authority and you have been put in a position of power, we don't get that opportunity. I've said it time and time again, as police officers, as any person in public safety, we are held to a higher standard. I know we're not perfect. I know we make mistakes, but when you put yourself in situations like this, you can't be mad when the rest of the world is saying, look what's going on over there. So anyways, I digress. Go watch the rest of that video. That's a pretty crazy video. But as officers, anybody that's in public safety, make sure you guys are always thinking about that. We are always under the mindset and under the scope of the public. And so we have to make sure we live up to those expectations because they're depending on it. It's been fun breaking down these videos. I thought I had a fourth video today. Maybe I'll put it on the next episode. But there's always stuff going on. Man, what would we do without the internet nowadays? I appreciate you guys, as always, for supporting this channel. And if you guys truly value the content that I'm able to bring to you, just do me a favor. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and make sure you turn that notification bell on so that way you get notified. But share these videos and watch them. Please watch them. I mean, not because I want y'all to watch me, but watch the video. I do believe it's valuable content that could also help a lot of us out in our culture today. So I love you guys. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see you on the next episode. Take care and God bless.